Let me tell you the story of a girl who ended up taking 10 years to complete what was supposed to be a 3-year degree. My name is Lindeka Namba, and I am that girl.
Ndifuna ukuthi wabonakalisa umonde into ethetha ukuthi into xa uyifuna emhlabeni kufuneka unyamezele, ayikho into eza lula, yebo.
I come from a small village called Umqanduli, which is here in the Eastern Cape, and it's just outside of the town of Umtata. When I was younger, I had always wanted to become a chartered accountant. I remember when I was in grade 4, one of my teachers had actually asked me what I wanted to be when I grow up. And because I didn't really know what career options were out there, I remember going home and actually asking my sister, and she had mentioned chartered accountancy. And from that day onwards, I remember that seed being planted in my mind, and I held on to that dream and I wanted to pursue that. Growing up in Umqanduli, we had quite a comfortable life. My parents did the best that they could as two working class parents, and yeah, they tried to give us all the best things in life. But they were of the opinion that Umqanduli did not have good schools, and so they decided that for high school we would attend in Umtata. And so that is how I actually got to Khanyisa High School. I would say that Khanyisa High School was one of the best resource schools in the area. I would commute there on a daily basis. And when I got to Khanyisa High School, I actually chose the commerce stream. And my electives were actually economics and accounting, and I think it was also computer applications technology. But I had specifically chosen accounting because I wanted to pursue a career as a chartered accountant. I would say that everything went very well, and I had a wonderful time actually in high school because even in my academics, I was performing extremely well, to the point where in my last year, which was in 2008, in my matric year, I was chosen as part of the top 10 of the grade to travel to Rhodes University for the Rhodes Open Day that year. And so in 2008, I applied to Rhodes University and I was accepted for Bachelor of Commerce in the accounting stream. And I was really happy about that. I think what really made me happier was that I was accepted into the mainstream because of my entrance points. So I was really, really pleased with that. I came to Rhodes University because I was really just attracted by the beautiful landscapes that I saw when I had come here for open day. I loved the beautiful architecture and also just finding out about the student to lecturer ratio and how I thought that was going to work out in my favor. So by 2009, I was at Rhodes doing my first year, and I really enjoyed myself, and the academic year went by so fast and I was performing really well. And overall, that year was a success. I think I also really enjoyed it because I had come with a group of friends from Khanyisa High School. So by the end of 2009, I had performed really well in my academics and I was eligible to move on to my second year, which was now 2010. I had already been struggling with a few subjects here and there, but I managed to overcome that, and I was able to advance to my third year. By 2011, I was in my third year, and in all honesty, I would say that this was the year that I really started to see the cracks in my academic performance. Although I was thriving socially because I had been elected as a sub-warden in my res, I was just very disheartened by my academic performance, and I started really just struggling with everything. It was also during this time where I started to feel a bit alienated because I did not know who to turn to or who to open up to. Because of me having come from Kanyisa High School, I was so used to having lecturers that looked like me, and it had become so much easier to open up to my teachers back then. But now, because I was at Rhodes University and the lecturers were so different from what I was used to, I found it really difficult, and I felt a bit uncomfortable in approaching them and opening up to them about my struggles. So in 2011, I performed really bad in my academics, and it was during this time where I really started to question my decision to pursue chartered accountancy. I started thinking about whether I had made the right decision to begin with. And it was also during this time I had realized that I might have maybe chosen the wrong degree. And a lot of thoughts were playing around in my head. I also thought about a program that was actually available at the university at the time, which was the extended studies program. I started thinking about how my life could have turned out, or my academic career could have turned out differently if I had maybe been placed in that program, because I know that it catered for people who came from the same socio-economic background that I came from.
Obviously, Rhodes has changed a lot, and now there are a lot more Black working class students on NSFAS. You know, the majority of our students are Black. The majority of our students are on financial aid. So the kind of Rhodes has changed a great deal in terms of the student intake things. And then obviously there's the usual academic things, you know, lecturers who speak too fast, the huge amount of work that they're expected to do compared to school, without revision, without kind of going back over things, the level of English that they're being expected to produce, and a lack of confidence often.
Because 2011 had ended off on such a bad note with my poor academic performance, I had spoken to my parents that December, and I had actually gotten their support to return back to Rhodes University to once again try and work on getting my degree in 2012. So by 2012, I was back at Rhodes University, pursuing a Bachelor of Commerce in Accounting once again. And unfortunately, that year was also a dismal fail, and it did not go as planned. By 2013, I had returned back to Rhodes University to pursue my degree once again, but this time I had decided to change my majors from the accounting stream to accounting and economics. And although it was another struggle, I had managed to secure my economics 3 credit, so at least that was something good. But unfortunately, I still failed accounting, and it was a real struggle. I remember how difficult it was having to open up to my parents and to let them know that after years and years of them supporting me financially, because they had to pay for everything out of their own pockets, and we had to go and get bank loans for all the fees that I had to pay here at Rhodes University. And so that was a really difficult time in my life. In 2017, I decided to apply to Rhodes University to pursue something that I wanted to do. So I was going to return to Rhodes University in 2018 to pursue a Bachelor of Journalism. And I thought that journalism was a good fit for me because I had a better idea of who I was. I was in my late 20s, and generally I knew where my abilities and my strengths and my talents lay. And so it was a very difficult time because I had to pursue and work towards both degrees at the same time. I was completing my Bachelor of Commerce through UNISA while registered full-time for my Bachelor of Journalism at Rhodes University. And by God's grace, in 2019, I was able to complete my Bachelor of Commerce degree, and I successfully transferred my credits from UNISA to Rhodes University, and I received my Bachelor of Commerce degree along with my PGCE certificate. So that was really wonderful. However, when I was at Rhodes University, I spent a lot of time chatting to some people on campus. And as I got to know more people, I realized that there were actually still a couple of students at the university who were going through the same struggles that I had been through a couple of years ago. And they were, just as I was struggling with completing my degree, they were struggling with that. And so I sat down and I spoke to one of these students, which is Ulukanyis. Tell me more about some of the challenges that you faced when you got to university.
One prominent challenge I faced when I came to university was the challenge of feeling alienated in terms of being able to approach the lecturers if I needed help. Because I always got the sense that as a student, you get the work, you do the work, then you hand it in. I didn't feel comfortable approaching most of my lecturers. The only ones I did was the classes that had small amounts of students. But generally, I didn't feel comfortable approaching them. Also, another underrated challenge, one that didn't personally affect me, is the language barrier. English is second language for most black students, if not all, and some of them are not really comfortable. So I would always think that when they were going through the readings, they'd first have to decode and unwrap what's actually being said before they could actually get to the task at hand. So that the language barrier is definitely a problem.
After my conversation with Ulukhanyiso, I realized that although transformation had taken place, there was still a lot more to be done to make the university space more accommodative to everyone. Although it took me 10 years to finally get my first degree, my Bachelor of Commerce degree, I realized that with the right support and with perseverance and hard work, and also with just knowing what it is that you want in life, you can achieve anything. Right now, I'm in my final year of my Bachelor of Journalism degree, and I can truly say that I'm in a much better place.
into efunekayo xa kukunyamezela emntwini uyazi into oyifunayo ebomini.